You know, we trust technology with pretty much everything: our money, our schedules, our fitness goals. But what about our feelings? Well, there's a whole new wave of tech that promises to do just that, to get a handle on our mental health. But here's the thing: is this a revolutionary tool for everyone, or is it just creating a new kind of digital divide? That's the big question we're digging into today.
Think about it. Your smartwatch can feel your heart rate spike and literally nudge you to take a breath. It's incredible. But as this tech gets smarter, is it also getting more exclusive? For every person who's getting these amazing insights, who's being left on the other side of the gap, totally disconnected from this new world of digital wellness?
All right, so first things first, let's get on the same page about what we're actually talking about. What is this technology that's trying to get inside our heads, hopefully in a good way? We're talking about mental health wearables, and this isn't just your fitness tracker counting steps. No, these are seriously sophisticated devices: smartwatches, rings, even headbands that are constantly monitoring your body's most subtle signals. They're looking at your heart rate variability, how well you're sleeping, your skin temperature, all to build a picture of your emotional state. They're basically trying to quantify how you feel. And the potential here it's huge. The big promise is that this tech could be a massive equalizer in mental health care. The idea is to give you a personal, totally non-judgmental companion that's there for you 24/7. And this could be a game changer for so many people who just can't get traditional care. If you live in a rural area, you don't have to travel for hours. If you're a student or a caregiver with a crazy schedule, you get support on your own time. It can create a safe space for communities where there's a lot of stigma, or where it's just plain hard to find a specialist who gets you. But maybe the most powerful promise of all is this: these devices could act like an early warning system for your mind. They can spot the physical signs of stress or burnout building up, maybe days or weeks before you'd notice it yourself. That gives you a chance to do something about it before it turns into a full-blown crisis. Okay, so that's the dream, right? The incredible promise. But it's just not the reality for everyone. And to understand why, we need to look at 4 pretty critical roadblocks that are stopping this tech from being for the many, not just the few. And the first one is a biggie: stigma. You'd think that technology could just sidestep all that human judgment, but nope. That deep-seated stigma around mental health just follows us right into the digital world. It really boils down to that quiet, nagging question people ask themselves: does using this mean I'm broken? Even if nobody else ever knows you're using an app, just the act of using it can feel like you're admitting something is wrong. That's a huge barrier to even getting started. Next up, we've got accessibility. And this one goes way, way deeper than just the price tag. It's really a 2-part problem that's creating this digital divide. So on one side, yeah, you have the financial barriers. These gadgets are expensive. Not everyone can afford them, or the smartphone and reliable internet you need to make them work. But then, on the other side, you have these knowledge barriers. If an app isn't in your first language, or if you look at a bunch of complex charts and have no idea what they mean, well, that data is pretty much useless, isn't it? All right, number 3 is a bit more subtle, but it's just as important: cultural mismatch. Here's the thing about technology: it's never neutral. It's always designed with a certain point of view built right in. A lot of these apps are built on very Western ideas, like focusing on self-help and individual therapy. But in so many cultures around the world, well-being is all about community, about family, or about spiritual practices. When the tech doesn't get that, it doesn't connect. It falls flat. And that brings us to our 4th and final roadblock: data privacy. I mean, we are talking about the most sensitive data you can imagine: our raw, unfiltered emotional state. And people are, quite rightly, very worried about who gets to see that. This one question can just shut the whole conversation down. For communities that have historically been mistreated or watched by institutions, that fear of surveillance is incredibly real. Without 100% solid trust, people are just not going to hand over their most personal data, no matter how great the tech promises to be. So, with all these hurdles, where do we go from here? Well, it's not about giving up on the technology. It's about redesigning it, but with real intention. And the good news is there's actually a pretty clear path forward. It really comes down to a 5-step game plan that tackles each of those roadblocks we just talked about. 1. Make it affordable. 2. Adapt it culturally so it actually makes sense to people. 3, and this is so important, co-create it with communities, not just for them. 4, lock down privacy to build trust. And 5, blend it with real human support. Remember, this is a tool, not a replacement for a human connection. So where is all this headed? Because this tech, it is not standing still, not by a long shot. The sensors that are in our watches today, that's just the very beginning. So right now, we're talking watches and rings, right? Pretty common. But pretty soon, we're going to see these sensors just woven into our clothes, built into our glasses. And if we look even further down the road, we're talking about things that sound like sci-fi. Smart tattoos, super personalized AI coaches that know you inside and out. This isn't a fantasy. This is the roadmap.
And you can see, as this tech gets more powerful, more intimate, the ethical stakes just shoot through the roof. The line between a supportive companion and an invasive surveillance tool gets razor thin. The goal has to be, always, to empower the person using it, not to monitor them.
And that leaves us with the big question, the one we have to answer as a society. As these sensors weave themselves into the very fabric of our lives, we have a choice. Are we going to use this incredible power to build a world with more insight, more empathy, or are we just accidentally building a world that's more watched, more monitored? The answer really depends on the choices we all make, starting right now.